We're in. All right. See the first ban here. From off meta. See what they take out.
Yeah.
You did a little bit of scouting. Do you notice anything that jumped out to you on off meta or losers POV? The LeBlanc ban.
No, nothing really. I think they're gonna be mostly going for comfort bans, maybe some higher play rate champs, but it's a bit harder to say. The biggest thing that came out was that I think the top laner for off meta. I could be getting it completely wrong, but Coding Gamer does have a fair amount of games on Camille, so
Okay.
it will depend on whether the other top laner's comfortable playing against it or not.
Yeah, and we also have a sub, for losers POV in the top lane, so probably less time to scout, less of an idea, what he'll be playing, things like that. We notice no top lane bans coming across, so obviously, it's possible they have a little bit of a curveball there for him. Less time to scout somebody. Subs can be good for that. Obviously, you have less synergy, but, an unknown champion pool. It tilts me in these competitive leagues where no one has the same tag. There's like two of here that have the same, like only one guy on the other team has a tag at all. But a Gragas ban for Fat Man Jungle, I guess that's pretty easy read across.
Mm-hmm.
And the Vayne ban. I think you had mentioned earlier when we were talking that Vayne was a pick that could come out here.
Yeah.
What is the first pick? Blue side first pick. This is supposed to be, your most powerful. This is, hey, I can't believe this got through the draft, And there's the Olaf. We've seen it in so many of these tournaments. You guys played it yourselves.
Shown time and time again in pro.
Yeah.
Very strong pick for early game.
Extremely strong. Sets the tempo. And especially, in games like this where you're playing a little bit, these aren't professional teams. These are teams that are a little bit more solo queue-esque. A pick like Olaf that dictates early pressure can really take over a game. Oh? 200 years? Or the Ezreal Nautilus lane. And that's it. We get Ezreal Nautilus at a loser's POV. What comes back now? Now, if you're drafting here, personally, my opinion, usually I like to show as little as I can. And what I was going to go with that was I would probably pick my bot lane here since we see the enemy bot lane.
Agreed. And seeing how it is a Nautilus, even though it is paired up with an Ezreal, odds are the other team would be comfortable with taking a chance or maybe try and bully out the Nautilus, make the matchup a bit easier.
Yeah, Nami's good for that, and also Nami helps with the Ezreal poke in lane. Gives a little bit of extra sustain to whoever you pick.
A lot of extra sustain.
Ooh, the Ashe. That is an annoying lane.
Oh, definitely.
But, one thing, two immobile bot laners. If you get engaged onto Nami or Ashe, there's potential to blow them up, And Ezreal can be safe from the engage that Ashe and Nami provide. So it's going to be an interesting matchup down there. And last pick on red side before second bans is going to be the Graves. Yeah, we've seen Graves into Olaf a lot. A lot of people seem to consider that a counter pick almost to the Olaf. Can duel a little bit early, is strong later in the game. Also pretty strong early, fighting in 2v2s, 3v3 scraps.
Yeah, definitely. And the fact that he can clear his jungle camps with a very large health pool remaining just allows him to be very present on the map, especially if the Olaf tries for something early, as you were saying.
Right. Interesting, too, we've seen bot lane and jungle. Both teams wanting to save their solo lane picks for later in the draft, try and get some priority in those solo lanes. The Kassadin ban comes out. Not surprising there. Kassadin very strong right now. Annie ban. You have to think somebody on the other side is an Annie player to see that. Not normally a ban we see.
Yeah. Again, the main feel I get for this draft is probably just going for comfort bans, stuff they're less comfortable playing against. If it shows up in the recent games for the other team, just might as well take it off the table and just play as best as you can, right?
Right. You don't want anybody playing a champ that they're extremely comfortable on. You want them to have to, be uncomfortable in the game, not know their strengths and weaknesses. And so that's why you see the bans we see here. A lot of times the the Vladimir, the Echo, the Vayne, the Andy bands. That's what they're in. And Cassiopeia, along the same lines probably, is strong right now, but not normally a band you see, so you assume it's targeted at somebody. The mid lane bands.
I'd say probably red side's going to be looking to pick up a top lane pick, save the counter for mid.
It would seem that way with the 2 bans for mid. You could even say Vlad and Echo could be bans for mid. But yeah, that would make sense for them. Their sub is the top laner, though. Diana? The Diana pick. So they are going to stay. So they're letting their sub have the last pick. So hopefully, maybe thinking, since he's potentially the weakest member, since he doesn't have the synergy as a sub, let's get him on a good matchup since we trust the other 4 who have played together. Of course, we don't know if he's subbed in before or anything like that. So blue side going to have to pick into the Diana here. Ornn
pick.
That is a solid front line.
And the Ornn is just going to pair so well with the Ashe, Nami, and Olaf. Add that extra bit of engage, like you said, a great front line. And Ornn is going to be able to upgrade items for every champ, so he even gives Olaf a bit more late game relevance.
Nice. And the Rise, nice scaling threat there in the mid lane. Can hold his own against Diana. Has some wave clear too. I like that team comp a lot. Oh, the Scion or the Mundo? The Scion. What do you think of the Scion pick? You're a top laner yourself.
It's hard to say. Ornn's just one of the most solid top lane tanks right now, and Scion's kind of fallen out of the meta. He still has his uses, don't get me wrong. Like, he helps punish a lot of immobile champs, as we can see for the Nami, the Ashe, the Rise. But I feel like the blue team will have a lot of appeal and CC to be able to keep the Scion off of them.
Yeah, I mean, looking at these 2 comps for myself, there's going to be a lot of fighting in this game. You've got a lot of engage from blue side with the Ornn, the Olaf, the Ashe, the Nami. You could even rise ult into certain fights. But on the other side, I mean, you've got Scion, Nautilus. These are champions that want to go in and fight. Ezreal, can self-build. Diana wants to dive in. We should see some explosive stuff in this game. And reminder for everybody in chat, we are on a 3-minute delay, so when Champion Select finishes right here, you're going to see a timer pop up for you right there. See a 2:55 at the top. When that finishes counting down, we will be loading into game. So yeah, thoughts on early strength versus later strength? Who do you think has the tempo advantage in the beginning of this game?
I'd definitely put it more towards the Olaf. See if he could maybe, I don't know, try and push for a lane advantage, see if he could get something early on the Rise, since it is the range versus melee matchup mid lane. I'll be with the recent changes to Diana's E, allowing her to get her dash before level 6. That also enables her to get a pretty good gank assist from the gank assist to help with the Graves coming in.
Right. And you have to... Nautilus is a champion that is more likely to roam out of lane early on than Nami. Yeah, so that could happen. But I feel like looking at the comps, blue side is something I like a lot when you watch like the plat gold games, even down to silver, is ease of execution comps, which is that, the blue team's comp really just has a front-to-back team fighting comp. Olaf and Ornn need to eat space, while Rise and Ashe deal damage and Nami peels. That's a simple one. For the other side, though, you really need to find, good engagements. You need to find a way to get onto this Ashe and this Rise easily with the Diana and the Scion, things like that. So a little bit harder, but as we all know, if a Diana gets ahead or a Scion gets big, those team fights can be instant losses if you don't peel correctly. Sure. Yeah. So I think definitely not a huge draft difference in this game. Obviously, we don't know comfort either, so maybe this guy's just like a Scion one-trick god. Just crushes top lane. But, yeah, exciting stuff. I like both drafts. So you see the plan from both drafts. Loser's POV, obviously, all in. Let the Ezreal peel for himself. And the opposite of that on the other side, very front to back, traditional comp. 50 seconds left.
Yeah, especially considering how big both top laners can get as frontliners. I'm really putting my eyes more on the execution based on either the mid laners or the ADCs themselves, their positioning and everything. because Ryze and Diana definitely have two different plans when it comes to executing the team fight.
Right. And late game, Diana should not be able to match Ryze in a side lane.
Yeah.
You have an opportunity for a big 1-3-1 here from the blue side. And one thing to note also is that Olaf has Ghosts in this game, which, is not that crazy. A lot of Olafs take Ghosts, but a lot of times in competitive, you see Flash for, the Dragon plays, the Baron plays, things like that. So we're going to be loading in just a second here. Also, Cleanse on the Ezreal. TP's
the
match.
Nautilus.
Yep. But makes sense, you have Nami, Ashe, and bot lane.
Yeah.
All right, we're just waiting on the game to get kicked up, and once we're in game, guys, we will be starting. Once again, chat, if you have anything, comments, stuff like that, we're going to try and keep up with it as the game's going. Just let us know. If there's anything wrong with the stream, please let us know too. I'm tilted a little bit that they're not in order, and I'm going to have to fix it.
Yeah.
Gosh, insensitive players. Absolutely insensitive. I'm just kidding, obviously.
All right. Well, already from the loading screen, we could already see there are a few interesting rune choices.
Is Conqueror and Nautilus normal?
Not from what I've seen. Usually Aftershock would be the preferred rune page.
You would think so. Normally that's what I've seen. All right.
It's just off the tip of my tongue.
What?
But I'm forgetting the support who took Leona Conqueror to Worlds.
Ignar. It's Ignar, right?
Ignar. Yeah, it was Ignar. I'm just getting flashbacks of that right now. Probably trying to see if they could extend for a longer trade spot lane rather than just get poked out by the volley from Ashe and the healing and the bubbles from Nami.
How many times in a competitive game do you see people AFK on the fountain? We're just poking a little fun here, obviously. Sion top lane protecting the tower. Not a lot of fading out. Ornn is going in here to get a ward. Not deterred by the Graves at all. Oh, Graves just getting a ward river there. Now see, one of the big differences here is that ward from Ornn, and you know this, your team did it. I watched you. That's going to give a lot of information on where Graves is, what camps he clears, and where he's going to go, as opposed to the Graves ward here that doesn't really give any information on the early pathing. There's not a lot of reasons that Olaf would show on that ward.
Yeah, it's mostly just they're pressured off. They try to just put a ward to see if they're getting invaded or not. But definitely the ward from blue side on Ornn, right next to Raptor camp, it always allows just the blue team to see and try and analyze what kind of path Graves is going for, like you said.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna allow the Olaf to plan around and just maybe get a better path into something like an early gank or a good contest for the Scuttle Crabs.
Right, and one question from the chat here asking about who are the stars for each team. Personally, when looking through some of the stats things before, Straw Hat was somebody who stood out to me. He's one of the higher elo players in the game. He's playing Ashe right now. And did you, when you looked over at off meta, was there anybody who jumped out to you?
I can't really say in particular. I'm not the best at scouting out players. Usually I just see what champs they're known for playing.
Well, we know Demogs was... doesn't get the blue buff steal. Not in good position to be Graves here, but looks like they're going to be forced back off. The Ornn is level 1. Trading all over. Trading in the mid lane, trading at top. Graves is coming up here.
In trouble. Saving the flash.
Oh, a lot of damage there.
He does get the Searing Charge for level 2.
Yeah.
Makes it out without blowing a summoner. But he will have to blow TP back into lane.
Yeah, not great. And Graves not getting that blue. It's kind of a big deal early on here because now Olaf's pace is a lot ahead. You see the CS differential already.
Yeah, already 2 camps up.
All right, bot lane looks to be pushing back. Ornn TP back in, as he said. Trading a little bit in the minions here. That's a lot of damage after TPing back in.
It's going to allow Sion to just sit and farm comfortably throughout the laning phase, which is good.
Well, that's what we get for questioning
Ornn can get as a champ.
Yeah, that's what we get for questioning the Sion pick. But does have Doran Shield, can sit and gain a little bit of health back here. Oh, goodness. Oh my gosh, that is a lot of damage on top lane. Olaf poking around mid, Graves getting the bottom skull.
Maybe looking for first blood.
Oh,
Olaf
can he get it?
Flash. Sound gets the first blood.
Yeah,
Nice.
definitely worth there. First blood gold over.
And he will be denying, if he can shove out the wave top, he will be able to deny a lot of XP to the Ornn because he doesn't have TP anymore, which he does manage to do.
Beautiful
Wow.
play.
Yeah, the Sion's going to be really far ahead top lane now.
Not to mention the Olaf right now, also pretty sizable CS lead. Graves is getting up there to get his blue. Olaf gets his back off. He's back on the map a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
This is some interesting trading patterns here in mid lane. A nice trade from Diana here, though.
Yeah.
He's done with her combo. Good job by Ryze trading back a little bit there, getting some damage after her combo is blown.
It's definitely hard to say with these kind of early matchups, Ryze Diana. The Diana did manage to get on, but I'm sure it's just because that small Conqueror nerf, putting it to 12 stacks, that she couldn't proc the Conqueror and start winning the trade faster.
Right. A little bit of fighting in bot lane and top lane here, just normal trading. Bot lane going about as expected. Both lanes have clear, win conditions, ways they want to play it out, so it's a little bit of a stalemate. They saw both jungles on top side of the map, so they both know they don't have pressure on each other. Graves now has gotten his back off, is back on the map. More trading top.
Ooh, Olaf might be looking to go for a lane gank bot.
Yeah, sneaking into a bush in bot lane, it appears. Oh, these trades in top lane. See, the Olaf is in the bush, gets a pink there. This is going to be tough, though, onto an Ezreal with cleanse. You really have to get the Nautilus here, pretty much.
They seem to know something about it.
Oh, the Nautilus goes in here. Olaf going in behind it. Nice bubble there. And there's the first
pick up the kill.
Oh, gets the heal. Ezreal ease in to try and get this trade.
The body blocking from the Nami was really well done.
Excellent play for the Nami there. And a nice knock up in top lane. Forces a tower shot onto Sion. Like we said, the Olaf, the early pressure. He's the tempo jungler here.
Yeah. He should be dictating the pace. Now he's looking for gank mid.
Yeah, but he's just going to get an axe there.
Axe.
Oh my, that's...
Yeah,
the ult in top for Sion. Does he have the Q? Does. It's a lot of damage. This is not fun right now for Ornn.
No, definitely not.
Oh no, the Graves lurking here, but Ryze is roaming up.
Yeah.
Ryze ult coming in, but they don't know Graves.
Oh
no! Q's in to try and interrupt it.
Graves tanking the turret like a gentleman, and they make it out. Wow. That's going to be a huge disadvantage for blue team.
Yeah, that is the flash out of Ryze also, and they see the Olaf top, so their bot lane is free to push this in. They know no one's showing up. There's no Olaf here to catch the wave.
Seems like red team might be starting Dragon right now without their jungler.
Yeah, is there any... Graves is still on the race right now, but I mean, this is a good sneak. There's no knowledge, that they would be doing this. If you're a team you're thinking... Graves is top. He was just up here for a gank. There's no way they're going for an objective. They're probably just pushing in the wave and basing, right?
Yeah, and I think they spotted Olaf doing the scuttle crab, so that just gave their team to go to take it uncontested.
It's a little bit risky for Olaf here, right? Because you're going to have the Sion in here. He has the prio top lane. There's no ult here. Oh, look at it. They're going to give it back to the Graves.
Yep.
A little bit of over-aggression there. Perhaps Olaf just trying to get back some of that gold they're losing in top lane here. Just feeling like he needs to make a play and giving up a kill to the Graves. CS differential has opened up a little bit here in mid lane. Not a huge surprise for Ryze to go down a little bit of far mid lane, but, can't fall too much farther than this.
I honestly expect it to be the other way around, considering it is the mid...
Uh-oh.
It is the ranged melee matchup.
Going in here. The Ornn coming out to try and stifle this. Is it enough? Gets the knock-up and return kill, though.
Nice.
That is nice by Ornn.
Is very low, and did have to burn his flash to finish off the kill.
That was very good. Nice bubble here in bot lane. That Nautilus is level 4 also. That's good for Ornn. Ornn needs that gold right now.
Definitely.
And that's what happens. The Ryze Blue is flash top lane trying to, get that kill onto Graves on the Blast Cone and doesn't have it in mid lane, to flash the Diana knock in.
Diana TPing right back into lane, both mid laners actually.
See, it's Ornn trading into these minions a lot here. You're in a little bit of an Ornn main. What do you think here?
I don't know. It just seems to be like a bit of a wave management issue, but it is Scion. Scion does have very good wave clear with his Q, and Scion's shield does definitely allow him to mitigate Ornn's trading potential, especially with the early lead Scion got.
A nice gank there to get the ult out. You know, already going to be up there for the Scuttle Crab, so that's fine. Rise getting a little bit of pressure here on mid. Taking a glance at the bottom. Like Ashe has a nice CS lead here. This is a good place for Ashe.
Definitely.
Are they going to be soloing? Yep, he is soloing the Rift Herald up here.
Yes. Graves may be looking for a bot lane gank through Tribush, but will be spotted on a pick.
You know what I will say about this? We've casted a couple of the ESDL ones. Or this is your first, but you know, we've casted. I've seen a couple of ESDL games now. This is one of the closer back and forth games I've seen. You know, we actually have, trading kills. It's 3 to 4 early. No one's really taking over the game just yet, except for, perhaps the Scion's in a really good position. But the Olaf manages to get the Rift Herald. You know, there's traded objectives here.
Yeah.
Nice play there by the Nami and the Ashe. They see the Nautilus as level 5. He can't ult back. You know, when they're stepping up into these trades right now, he can't ult back to do anything. Uh-oh. Graves and bot side, though. Ooh, nice flash from the Nami. Speed up here, but that is a level 6 Nautilus, and there it is. Oh, but there is an Olaf coming in and a TP coming in here. That's going to be the Ornn, I believe. Yes, it is. The ult up. The Nautilus is extremely low. They get the knock up onto Ezreal. Now they're chasing the Graves up in the river. The Scion is in. Now they need to burst out this Graves. The knockup goes on to 2. Oh my gosh, that damage out of the Scion. Ashe extremely low, but Rise shows up. Can the 4 of them burst down this Scion before he gets anything else? It looks like it. Diana stays in the mid lane, but the Q picks up the Ashe. Still a big play from Loser's POV, though.
Oof, and that was close to taking down the Ornn, too.
Yep, Ornn does get another kill there. We get a kill onto Ashe also and a bunch of assists, but pretty good. The Ezreal barely gets out, not using the cleanse, forced to use the flash, and Diana gets a lot of alone time in mid and also some plates there. That's almost going to invalidate the Rift Herald.
Definitely. It also helps that Ezreal did get a lot of breathing room because everyone else backed except the Ezreal, so Ezreal was able to pick up a decent amount of CS, pretty much put himself back almost equal with the Ashe. Although the Ashe did pick up one of the kills and a couple of assists, whereas Ezreal did get nothing to add to his scoreboard. It was just a double kill for Scion.
Well, let me ask you something. Chat pointing it out there a little bit, but Ashe stepping back into that Scion queue. Worrying trend?
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully she learned her lesson.
All right, Olaf showing his face a little bit by here, giving a little bit of pressure, but Ezreal's going to base anyways.
All right.
Okay, well, guys, let's go ahead and get those.
I was just about to talk to about this too. Most of the kill gold were on top and jungle, but blue team definitely did get the better half of that trade, if you ask me, allowing to put 1 kill on both Rise and Ashe.
Yeah, definitely, because that's going to be their primary DPS. Scion getting ahead does matter. It looks like they're going to rift bot. They saw the Ezreal back, so this is a perfect time to do this. You have an advantage already in bot lane. Why not leverage it more into your Ashe here?
No TPs on any of the 4 players, so you're guaranteed not to get flanked.
Yep, Graves looking for a play here in mid lane. Knockup comes in again, but the flash is up this time, and Rise and a couple tower shots. You have to get a little bit better at that trade. Diana does save the flash, however. Oh, the hook lands on the Ashe there. Tower damage coming out, forcing the flash out of Nautilus. So an Ezreal getting chunked out extremely low to another fight in the mid lane is Olaf going in onto the Diana and the Graves, but blown up immediately. Scion ulting down onto the Rise, who was trying to help the Olaf, trying to run out, gets the movement speed there. Can he get under the tower? He is, but this Scion is massive. He doesn't care about your towers, uses the Q and gets the kill. That is huge. This Scion is massive. He's a problem. Pretty much this top half of the map right now is completely in off-meta's control.
That was kind of a questionable run-in from the Olaf. Sure, he does have the Warrior and the Tabai, so he could run into, let's say, the Graves, but the Diana is still very strong with completed Rod of Ages already. And the extra dagger, allowing her to just deal that extra amount of DPS even without her ult.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was right against the wall, so Graves gets the immediate Q damage off. plus the ult. So I mean, he's burst. The second he hits half HP, he's getting bursted down completely. And obviously thought he had a little bit more time. Olaf just warding the dragon for a second there. I saw him on the minimap. I was like, no way. This guy's the ballsiest jungler on earth. If we can get a replay on it, we'll get the replay. I saw the cleanse come out a little bit late there. Yeah. Heal coming up also for the Nautilus. We've not really seen that have a huge impact yet. Olaf clearing the Krugs, hanging out a little bit there in bot lane. Ryze getting a little bit of time onto this mid tower. This is risky. You know, she's got a level lead. She definitely has the damage. Ryze is taking a tower shot here. There's the QE. Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Forgot they're changed now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a kill.
Able to capitalize on the lack of flash from Ryze.
Yeah. Olaf in the pit clearing a ward. They ping him out though, so no risk here. Olaf should be able to walk this out to his bot lane. But his bot lane's still playing pretty aggressive despite the roam down from the mid jungle here. Olaf is slowing them, buying them a little bit of time. They definitely can't have anything happen in this bot lane. If they have any hopes of winning this game, they have to keep the Ashe clean.
Yeah.
But trading at top lane.
With the lead on the Diana, how can you not?
Well, that's true. Poking around a little bit here. The Ryze is up and does have TP. Can't tell. They're looking to contest. A little bit late to walk in here. They're just throws an axe and backs out.
All right, and we're looking for an Ocean Rift. It's going to be really big for the red team, allowing Diana to get that extra bit of sustain and tankiness during team fights, mostly from the healing, and Sion just making him even
Sion
harder
just
to deal
popping the ult right here mid lane. They know the Ryze does not have flash, and he's caught again up in the lane where he shouldn't be. Easy kill onto the Diana there, and this is a 4-1 Diana now. Yep. The chat. That's pretty good.
Chat's radical strolling.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Exodus is a off-meta fan.
Huh.
Andrew ulting to push the wave here. No surprise. Diana going to take that tower in mid lane. That is huge. 15 minutes tower going down. Yeah, without a Rift Herald on it. Just straight up Diana getting that tower. What do you do now? You know, if you're loser POV, you know, what's your game plan now? How do you play out the next 5 to 10 minutes of this game?
To be honest, all the eggs seem to be needed to be put on that Ashe basket. She's the one with the like a slight CS lead. She's doing well. She already has her Bork. Seems to be going for the Runads, which is going to help a lot if they start team fights in the later half of the game. And other than that, you're just going to really have to ask the Ryze to maybe pull back a bit on the gas and just try and farm up. That almost 30 CS lead and 3 kill differential mid lane is really going to be helpful for Diana and allow her to push towards breaking the back line of the blue team.
Yeah, makes sense. Unfortunately, if you're, you know, one of the people who are not Ashe on this team, you're going to be asked to keep this Sion off of your back line, which is going to be no easy task in this game. You know, he's massively ahead. He's huge. The Diana also. And Edriel having a... Well, and here he is. Speak of him. TP coming in down here. Fight a little bit mid lane. We'll pay him back. The Ornn TP's in. Immediately getting busted, but it at least does stop some of the aggression here. Looking to ult. This is a weaker Nautilus. As TP now coming in for the Diana, but Ashe steps a little bit far forward here, forced to flash out. Diana on the chase, does get the Ashe here, blowing up a lot of damage, but they managed to halt it. The Diana dies, traded for Ashe. The Ornn still tanking a lot of damage here. Olaf running in, but this Sion rooted up. Graves, in the meantime, during this whole fight, is soloing the Rift Herald, so if it's a 1-for-1, the gold did go on to the Olaf there for the Diana shutdown.
Yeah. Not the best person to pick up the gold, but better than the Nami.
Exactly. They do get the Rift Herald off the back of this. You know, and they show the ability to kind of stop that. They get both TPs, or they get one TP out of the Diana there, which is big. Ryze invests his, and Ornn invests his also. So there's going to be a little bit of time here where this Sion can be in the side lane. He's already hard to stop, but Ornn should have reached a point now where he can wave clear and not be dove, right?
Seemingly. He is on the Sunfire Cape and the Ninja Tabai to help with the Sion's damage. But the main issue here, like you said, is the Sion can sit on on a side lane, he is the one who helped initiate the engage bot, so he didn't have to burn TP. And meanwhile, blue team lost all their sums, no flashes, no heal, making them very weak to a possible engage from a Diana or Nautilus.
Oh my, this trade up here in top lane. So much damage coming out here from both of them.
Yeah.
So strong. But Ryze does pick up the bot tower in the mid-time.
Yes.
Some betting odds. Well, considering we watched none of their season, I'm not really sure what the over-under is on these teams. I'll tell you after this game. We'll give you an over-under after this game. And also, guys, stick around after the game. We'll let you guys vote on the MVPs from each game. There'll be 3 players for the winning team. And if you like what you see, if you want to see more amateur content like this, feel free to follow. Between this and our LCS show, there's tons of stuff, you know. Pushing in here a little bit, Diana and Graves getting some vision here. They know the dragon spawning soon, so getting the blast going, getting wards down in here. Ryze kind of poking around trying to see down here, and more of the resident sleeper will get off of that. Oh, Ryze walking in here. You have to know they're going to be in here clearing vision. And yet again, the Ryze gets blown up. Yeah, it's a little bit, you know, inexcusable. You got to know with the dragon spawning. Yeah, and right before the spawn. Now they're going to get the Rift Herald off in bot lane. They're going to go over, force this dragon. They don't have to have everybody at the dragon now immediately because of the Ryze dying. There's no threat of a 4v4 here. They know they have TP advantage top. Yeah, chat's right. Suffering, living up to his name. Suffering on the Ryze here.
This is very scary, though, if you're the blue team.
Red
is about to get on to Soul Point.
Yeah, Soul Point.
One of the many win conditions they have for this game right now.
Ocean Soul.
How far they are ahead.
Ocean Soul on Fed Scion. How do you feel about that?
He is going for the Titanic second, which is a trade-off of tanks of armor and MR for more health, but it does scale very well considering how he could just keep gaining more and more health the more he CS's. So probably is looking maybe to try and be a bit more of a wave clear in a side lane, maybe look to flank with his ult or his TP. You know, just join the team very fast.
Right.
And if Ornn's the only one to answer, then it can put Bjorn in a lot of trouble if he doesn't have his own TP to answer the Scion.
Right. Scion's showing, you know, how strong he is right now. He's able to walk up to that tower at any time, you know, channel the Q, force Ornn to miss some CS to stop it and not get traded on. And what we talked about in the early game was Losers POV having a 1-3-1 comp, but it's actually evolved into off-meta having a 1-3-1 comp with how much gold is on the Diana and the Scion now. There's not really anyone who can match them in the side lanes. Going for a play out top.
Ornn blowing the horn.
There it is. That was the ghost used from Olaf, too. A little bit of trade here, but I don't really see a lot of chance of a dive. He's tanking the tower on Ornn there. They're able to get him a little bit low.
Scion is unkillable right now.
Unkillable Scion.
Alright. Item check for bot lane. Ezreal is on the Iceborne and the Man Immune, giving him good poke. Good slows to allow his team to engage. Whereas Ashe does have the completed boots on top of Bork and Greenhands. That's late CS lead, and that kill definitely helps her out with that.
Definitely. And obviously Soul Point in 3 minutes here. What is your play? Because you obviously have to contest if you're loser POV. What's your odds here? Getting a pick, hoping that you can land an Ashe Arrow onto someone. Speaking of what Ashe Arrow landed on Diana here, Nami ult just misses because of the flash, but they're giving chase. A beautiful bubble out of the Nami here. A lot of damage out of the Ashe, but that ult from Diana deletes Loser's POV.
I'm sorry, but after watching that, I don't think there is a way to get back into the game for Loser POV.
There is no contest coming.
Too big.
Oh, Ornn with the 1v2 kill on the Scion here. He is going to go down here to the passive, but
yep.
Some bit of positivity there. But yeah, that Diana damage onto the backline. And that's the worry with Ashe. You know, she's not a mobile AD carry. If she's stepping forward to deal damage like that, someone like Diana can blow her up.
Yep. Definitely a good amount of help from Ezreal being right near just to be able to fire off that true shot barrage and then be able to come in and just help finish him off before the Diana died.
Exactly. And, you know, we talked about, you know, Ezreal had not really had a large impact on the game. Part of that due to the fact that Olaf had spent some time early bot lane. And, you know, Ashe Nami can be, you know, an aggressive lane. Nautilus got killed early, was set behind, and they weren't able to be aggressive there. But they did exactly what they needed to. They allowed their solo lanes, who had leads, to carry. They played safe, and now, when it's into late game team fighting, Ezreal shows up huge with a beautiful ult and adding some much needed damage. Right now, this Diana in the bot lane does not have TP, but the next objective will most likely be the dragon in about a minute and a half, so getting a base off here. Diana on 3 items at 23 minutes. Zanya's finished now, so now that aggressive playstyle, not as easy to punish. Meanwhile, Ashe on 2 items here. Ezreal pretty strong, does have the Frozen Fist and the finished. No, not the finished.
Iceborne Gauntlet, and still a man immune for now.
Still a man immune for now. Sion does use the ult in mid, a little bit of intimidation there, doesn't find anything. Ashe does have both subs right now. So there's still a world where they could perhaps get an ult onto someone and lock them down, but any 5v5 right now is going to completely go off meta's way. And not just slightly, you know, it's a 5k gold lead right now, which may not seem like much, but the gold's on the exact right places.
Yeah, but I still can't help but think, Vega, with the Diana being 3 full items and a 10 stacks on the Rod of Ages, even in a 4v5, I would still weigh the odds in red team's favor.
Right, they've definitely got room for mistakes. Like, even if they don't play a fight out perfectly, or it's a 4v5 like you say, there's a very slim chance that they lose the fight. Ornn Zion stuck in trading pattern here. We'll take a glance down at the dragon. They're trying to get a pick on the Graves, but that's stopwatch. Does eat a lot of the cooldowns here, but Graves is getting very low here, but Diana going onto the Ashe immediately destroys the Ashe. The Graves is traded back on by the Rise. TP coming in from the Scion. Ornn choosing to stay top for now. It was a 2-for-1. Not even time to flash for the Ashe. Bubble coming out there. This Rise dealing a little bit of damage. Ignite comes out, but with Ornn not TPing,
for them to get the soul.
Yeah, with Ornn not TPing, it's obvious there's no real contest coming for this. And that is the soul.
The Ornn was a bit too low to even try and contest into TP.
Yeah, there's probably almost no reason for him to TP. I'm sure the call right now is we'll just stay and get as much gold as you can, push the wave out. We're just going to have to deal with the soul, which at this point seems next to impossible. With how hard it is already to deal with this Scion and Diana, giving an Ocean Soul over to them, this is going to be tough. Now, there is, you know, just for the sake of being, you know, the unbiased casters that we are, there is potential for mistake. And, you know, Rise and Ashe scale very well.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, a couple mistakes, a couple breaks one way. There is potential that Loser's POV could come back in this game, but it would take a lot. It would take a lot of mistakes, and frankly, when Scion and Diana are this fed, it's not that hard to play out correctly. There is a gank coming top lane, and a beautiful pillar there to get that. Does have flash on a Scion, but it's getting too low. The gold does go onto the Ashe here. That's good. There is no counterplay right now.
Nope. Red team is definitely not able to respond to that pick top yet.
Oh, an ult onto the Graves also. It's pretty low. A lot of damage coming out. The Ashe stepping extremely far forward. Gets hooked by the Nautilus and blown up. Olaf forced to go out, but the TP did come in from Rise here. Rise on the backline here, trying to get plays off, but that Ocean Soul healing so much. Oh, the flash in from the Ezreal trying to get the slow there, but that is an Ornn. In the meantime, Diana is pushing bot the entire time.
Yep.
You got to question the Ashe's positioning there. A little bit hungry maybe to try and make a play and get a catch.
She has been showing a tendency to walk just a bit too far up every fight so far. Into a lot of the silence cues, just walking into the Nautilus.
A little bit of a fight here in the mid lane. Nami forced to flash out. The Ornn hooked twice in this fight. He is going to go down here. It does last a little while, but in the meantime, Diana's taking an inhib in the bot lane. I mean, that is a level 16 Diana. That's a level 12 Ashe. That is not going to be easy to protect. I think the mid lane inhib going to go down also. This is all but in the bag for off meta in this game. What comes out? It looks like they're going to do the smart thing and just back off here, say we just got a ton of gold, ton of pressure on the map. Let's reset. Let's spend our money. Let's come back and let's end the game. Yeah, I can't help but think, you know, it looked like perhaps a really good play for them. They had an opportunity there, but the Ashe stepping up into an area where you can get Nautilus hooked. Not what you want from your primary carry.
Seems to be very overzealous this game. But just things to look back on for next game.
Yeah, definitely.
Rise will be looking to fight the Scion right now. Walks away with half his health, and Scion is practically untouched.
And Scion's back to normal. Yeah. Scion is a problem, say less. And the Magi is purchased by the Diana. And a Needless. Goodness. This Diana is massive.
Yep. Can't count the Scion out either. Does pick up the Adaptive Helm to completely nullify any chance Rise would have had of killing him.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to try a similar play to what they had earlier. Like sending several people top, but the Graves is
sure to
shattered.
answer though.
Yeah, it has the GA also. 2-level lead on the Olaf, so easily outtrade. Diana going to escort minions in bot lane. Does have TP. This is a perfect setup for them. If off meta gets any kind of pick here or anything, they can just start the Baron, or they can actually just start the Baron, honestly, you know. Because Diana's going to have so much pressure in his bot lane. Going in onto the Rise already forces the Zanyas, but you know what you're coming out to, Rise. There's a Diana there waiting for you. Lots of damage coming out. With Conqueror, now more damage onto him. Has to flash to get it, but does get it.
In the meantime, rest of the team will be pressuring everyone off of the base.
Yeah, now it's
Push
easy to
them straight back
escort
into the
this in.
fountain.
You have one damage source now in Ashe, and unfortunately Ashe is 2-5 right now. Chad is right. Rise making the mistakes of being within 5,000 units of Diana at this point in the game. That's going to be easy. Now forced inside the base, they can't do anything. This is going to be an easy Baron for off meta, and should be the cap on the end of this game. Now there is an Elder in a minute and a half, so there's potential they hold off to get that just to be 100% the game is over. But honestly, you know, in my opinion, they don't need it.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I would have sworn they could have just gone in for the end right after the Rise pick. Sure, Diana didn't have ults ready right away, but it's already back up. It's very low cooldown, especially with her CDR. You have everyone else ready. Nautilus and Scion make for perfect tanks if they want to dive, and just everyone else is behind. Because now, Ornn has been able to upgrade items for both the Olaf and the Ashe.
This is the feels bad for Ashe when you have the Scion just diving you 1v2, but that is a lot of return damage. Ashe does deal damage here. She's on 3 items, has the IE. Did Scion make a mistake here? Only takes a little bit of damage from the Q. Nami can speed up this Ashe, who can also slow, but oh, the flashback in. Scion extremely tanky and has the Ocean Soul. Rise ulting in top lane, but the heal from Nami. Oh my goodness.
Ashe just walking a bit too far up again, but that just shows how powerful the Molten Edge upgrade is on her.
Oh my god, Graves damage coming out here. Rise in top just to ensure. But we're talking about, you know, how hype that was and back and forth it was. It was a 2v1 under the tower. Well, it's a nice hold from Ornn there, showing up top lane. Diana is not here. They are 2-manning down at the Dragon right now.
We're waiting for it to spawn.
Yeah. Graves gets that kill. It is spawned now.
Yeah, Dragon just spawned.
Yeah. Seb is in our chat, so I believe that's probably a pretty good sign that this game is not going on too much longer. Olaf here trying to defend this top tower. This is pretty easy, though. 2 inhibs down, minions pouring into the base. Yep. Rise trying to trade some damage. Righteous Glory pop by the Nautilus. Look at him. Look how large he is walking around. Gets the ult on the Olaf. He's a bouncing ball in the team. Easy kills there for the Diana. The hook on the Ashe on the fountain. The swag kill there for Ezreal. And they are just waiting. The Nami, the only one left inside the fountain. Oh! Ezreal goes down to the execute. But that is game 1 to off meta.
Wow.
What a game.
Yeah.